Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Well, today I'm going to be answering some questions I received from you guys. As I said in my previous video, I will no longer be answering questions in the comments as I believe that it would be more beneficial to a greater amount of people if I simply made videos. Now, before we get into this, I want to encourage you guys to ask your questions down below. If I see that this video is as beneficial as I believe it will be, then I will continue making these Q&A videos. Ready? Let's go! Okay, so I'm pulling out my notes here. Question number 1. What do you do if you made a mistake on your application for authority? For example, you put in the wrong commodity type, or you didn't put in all the commodity types, or the wrong number of trucks, equipment, etc., etc. If you make a mistake on your application, it's not the end of the world because you can correct it using the form MCS 150, the same form that you would be using in order to do your biennial updates. You can edit a bunch of things there, including commodity types, equipment types, amount of trucks, fleet size, address, contact information, and so on. Okay, question number 2. Do I provide any dispatch services? This is a question I get over and over again. At the present time, I am providing a dispatch service for one outside carrier. That being said, I do not provide dispatching services at this time, but I'm hoping that in the near future, once we expand our team a little bit, I will be providing those services. Okay, next question. Who is a registered agent? And this is a question I've been getting a lot. So I think I misspoke in a previous video where I was talking about BOC3 and I called these vendors registered agents. The correct term for BOC3 is process agents. However, you will hear people use registered agent when referring to the BOC3. So let's quickly answer what is BOC3. BOC3 stands for blanket of coverage, and when you apply for authority, you must have that BOC3 on file in order to actually activate your MC number. Now, this BOC3 provides you with process agents in every state where you operate that can accept legal documents on your business's behalf. So for example, if you operate only in Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, you will need process agents in those states. However, most interstate carriers choose to have a blanket coverage that covers all states just in case. And something to note, BOC3 is a one-time fee you pay when activating your authority. In a previous video, I said that you have to be paying it every year because that's what I was doing because I'm an idiot. Now, a registered agent, in general terms, is also someone who accepts legal or government documents on your business's behalf. So for example, when you're applying for an LLC, you will often see a question about who is your registered agent. Usually individuals will put, the owners will put themselves as the registered agent. Okay, next question. What happens if you don't activate your authority within 90 days to 1 year? The process is pretty simple. Once you apply for your authority, you have 90 days to get that BOC3 on file as well as insurance in order to activate your authority. If you do not get those things on file during those first 90 days, your application will be dismissed. Now, once your application is dismissed, you have about a year in order to get those things on file and file an undismissal. If after 1 year you still don't have your BOC3 and insurance on file, your application will be permanently dismissed and you will have to reapply and pay that $300 fee all over again in order to apply for your authority. Okay, next, what load boards do I use? Now, I use a ton of load boards, but my main one is DAT Power. That's the load board that is always open on my screen. Now, I also keep JB Hunt's private load board, Convoy's private load board, Uber's private load board, and Coyote's private load board open at all times just to make sure that I'm getting a full picture of the market. But there are a bunch of other load boards I also use once in a while, for example, Echo Drive, XPO, TQL. These are private load boards that are tied to a specific broker, so when you set up with one of those brokers, you get access to their load board. Next question, do I work with hotshots? Unfortunately, I do not work with hotshots, so I'm not very familiar with the registration requirements for those. I mean, the itty-gritty details I don't know anything about. I usually work with semi-trucks and trailers. Next question is, can you start a trucking company with a truck that's under someone else's name? The answer is pretty simple. Yes, you can, as long as you have all the necessary paperwork for that truck, as well as a rental or lease agreement in case a DOT officer stops you for a roadside inspection. You need that lease or rental agreement. Very important. Next is, how much do I charge for my services to get your authority? My fee is $200, and what I do is I get your authority and DOT number, and for that you have to pay $300 that the FMCSA charges. I also get you your UCR, which is $59 plus $1.75 for the credit card fee. You can pay by credit card, so it's actually $60.75 plus BOC3, which is $150. Next question is, do I have a phone number that you guys can call me on? Unfortunately, I no longer have a phone number for this channel. This phone number that I used to provide was intended originally for those who were looking to join our team. But of course, it quickly became a means for you guys to reach out with your questions, and you guys are all wonderful. But unfortunately, I was not able to keep up, especially because that phone number was a secondary phone number I purchased, and it kept divorcing me. So I was missing a bunch of texts and calls and all of that. So instead, I created an email where you guys can reach out to me. The email is talkabouttrucking@gmail.com. You can still reach out to me on that email. It takes me about a week and a half to get back to you, but I do get back every time. Next is a question I really like. How do you get an MC number if you already have a DOT number? And to answer this question, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so if you have an existing DOT number, but you want to add authority or an MC number to that existing DOT number, all you have to do is go to fmcsa.dot.gov, then you click on registration and click update my US DOT number and or authority. It will take you to this page. Scroll down a little bit. You click right here, I need an additional operating authority to my existing US DOT number. Click the circle, continue. You will have to put in your US DOT number, your PIN, your EIN, and answer all of these questions. Click continue, and that way you can add an MC number to the existing DOT number. Okay, next is, what brokers are hard to deal with? Well, one of the brokers right from the top of my head is TQL. Number one, because they lowball. Number two, because there are about 100 million brokers working on one load, plus the after hours team. And the worst part is none of them speak to each other, so TQL may be tracking you, getting email updates from you, getting calls from you with updates, and they still will be calling the dispatcher as well as the driver every 5 minutes, no matter what time of day it is, to find out the current location. Now, someone else mentioned that C.H. Robinson is very hard to deal with. I have never worked with C.H. Robinson, and what I can tell you from what I know is that they do not negotiate, so I do not work with brokers like that. Another question I really like, what do you do if UCR is not participating in your state? So to answer this question, I'm going to use Oregon as an example. If you have a business that is based in the state of Oregon, you will quickly realize that UCR does not participate in that state. So what do? Are you exempt? Unfortunately, no. What you have to do is file your UCR with the nearest participating state, which in this case would be Washington. Now, to give you a list of states that do not participate in UCR currently, it is Arizona, Hawaii, Florida, Maryland, Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, Vermont, Wyoming, and Washington, D.C. These places do not participate in UCR, so if you are in one of those states, you have to file your UCR with the nearest participating state. Next question is, what is our startup program? Now, this is something I mentioned kind of briefly in one of the first videos I have made. The startup program is only intended for our company drivers. And what it means is, if one of our team members decides that he or she is ready to go their own way, get their own authority, their own truck, we help them with the paperwork for free. Now, when I say for free, I mean we do not charge the $200 service fee. Of course, the $300 for authority set by FMCSA has to be paid by the company driver who's looking to get their own authority. but we also do all those UCR, BOC3, the state permits, IFTA, IRP. We help with all of that to get that team member on his or her feet so they can be successful in their business. Okay, so those are the questions I collected so far, and I hope I was able to shed some light for you guys with the answers. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to comment down below. I will continue compiling lists and making more of these kinds of videos. Other than that, I will see you guys.
I can't believe I didn't even get a chance to speak in this video. Unbelievable.
As I was saying, I'll see you guys in the next video.